Welcome to my American History Notes, where I discuss conclusions I've drawn from reading and studying about American history. I hope that you will, even though you probably disagree with my conclusions, that you will have conclusions, that you will have opinions because you've studied it, and that this will spur you on to study. This is a survey, it's very surface, shallow. You can dig much deeper. You probably know a lot about there certain specific things than I do. But we're going to move on today. And I want to start with the people elected Samuel J. Tilden of New York as president in 1876. But in one of the most flagrant misuses of power and betrayal of public trust in the nation's history until the present day, the power broker politicians gave the office to Ohio's Rutherford B. Hayes, who served from 1870 to 1881 as the 19th president. The Democrats accepted this turn of events in spite of the fact that the election was stolen, basically. Um, by they even there was newspaper advertisements, Tilden or blood, and wanting a march on Washington to forcefully install Tilden as president. Um, but they did eventually give up that. Um, by the Republican promise to end Union occupation of the South, soldiers, and to end Reconstruction. So the black man and woman was betrayed, not only in this election where people who voted betrayed, but the very promise that there would be black equality, that blacks would continue with the education they were starting to get and continue with the political power they were starting to amass, um, by turning it over. And then you have the what happens as a result. You have Jim Crow, and you have lynching, and you have all kinds of other things that just became worse and worse and worse, and resulted in 100 years of struggle and trouble for the black race in America. But because Republicans gave up Reconstruction. So, anyway, um, ironically, Hayes was one of the most religious and personally moral men to ever serve in office. He and his wife beginning each day with morning prayers and closing each evening by singing hymns. As part of the deal for him getting the presidency, as I said, he ended Reconstruction by withdrawing federal troops from the South, leaving the blacks to their own devices against white supremacists. 10 years earlier, he had voted as a congressman for those acts that punished the South so severely, and he even voted to impeach President Johnson. So he had voted for these things to be done, to take to do what was supposed to have been done, what was promised. But then in here, he betrayed that promise with this deal. As presidential candidate from Ohio for the Republic, so I want to make a point that this election, this stolen election, was accepted by the promise to withdraw federal troops from the South and the end of Reconstruction, and it was the betrayal, the ultimate betrayal of African Americans in America. So, as presidential candidate from Ohio for the Republicans, he was opposed by Tilden of New York, made famous for his overthrowing of the infamous Tweed Ring of Boss Tweed and the corrupt Tammany organization in New York City. Tilden won by 250,000 popular votes and 37 electoral votes, but Republicans claimed that blacks had been kept from going to the polls in South Carolina, Florida, and Louisiana. A special commission was appointed of 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans, and 5 supposedly impartial Supreme Court justices, with 3 of the justices turning out to be Republicans, to settle the dispute. The conclusion was never in doubt to anyone. Hayes was given the election that was stolen from Tilden and from the American people. So now, whatever your opinion about that, we're going to continue next with Hayes's administration. All right, thank you very much. I one other thing. I know you're gonna somebody there's gonna be a controversial. This video is controversial, so it's okay. I understand. I'm not going to argue with you, but it's important that you study this and you have your own conclusion. So I really would think it'd be great, even if you came and said, "No, you're totally wrong. This should have been. This was this way. This was that way." As long as you're studying it, I'm happy. Thank you.